Willie D Live.
What's up, family? A growing number of residents in Houston and surrounding areas believe a serial killer is on the loose. However, the popos are not ready to confirm that. Check it out.
Our top story here tonight, the bodies being found in Houston bayous. Houston police report another body was just recovered today from the Buffalo Bayou area near Jensen and East Downtown. So if you've been watching and keeping track alongside us, that is 4 bodies recovered in 4 days. Today is Thursday. And sadly, a U of H student has been identified as one of the bodies recovered from the Brays Bayou area on September 15th. That's Monday. She was reported missing days before. Sherman DeSell has been covering this story for a couple of days now. And Sherman, it is scary stuff here, but just kind of fill us in on what we know so far.
Yeah, it's definitely a cause of concern for a lot of our viewers. And many have made some speculations online about something maybe more nefarious happening here, and that's understandable. Our Fox 26 count is now at 13 bodies found in Houston bayous this year by law enforcement and first responders. Remember, the 22 bayous are spread out for miles, so it's a lot of ground to cover, and that comes with tough investigations. Here's what we know. HPD confirms a male body was recovered from Buffalo Bayou on Jensen Street in Edo on Thursday. Our camera caught officers and a dive team on the scene around 3 p.m. There were reports of a man jumping into the water there. We're waiting to hear more on this. And remember when we reported 2 bodies recovered from local bayous on Monday, September 15th? One of them was identified as 20-year-old Jade Sage McKissick. She was a U of H student, reported missing on September 11th, last seen that day near the 3700 block of McGregor by a restaurant. She was a junior communications and advertising major. In a letter sent to students, U of H describes her as a campus resident and a student employee and a friend to many in their community. We're talking about a lot of bodies in a city where many people walk, run, and bike the bayou areas every day. So we visited an area near the White Oak Bayou to see how people have been reacting to the discoveries. A lot of people are just wondering, what's the deal? HPD hasn't really given us a lot of information either. What questions do you have?
I mean, is there somebody paying attention to these? Is there more details to investigation? I don't know. It's just kind of scary at this point. When it's that many coincidences. There's not such a coincidence that happens multiple times.
There's long-term plans and there's short-term plans. And I would hope that the short-term plans are in effect, and something is being done. Someone's patrolling, or someone's watching over cameras or lights, or anything's being done right now.
One of the guys who just said, is anyone paying attention to these?
Yeah.
That really brings us right back to HPD. So have we heard anything from HPD on these?
We haven't. I have been on the scene of the last 2 recoveries, hoping to hear something from public information officer. Haven't heard anything. We've reached out. They say don't anticipate hearing anything right now. We did reach out to the county forensics department to see if they'd be willing to say something. They didn't give an on-camera interview, but we are requesting more details from all of these instances, especially in the last couple of days. So hopefully we'll get some more information. But we hear what you're concerned about wondering if it's something more that we should be paying attention to, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, we'll certainly continue to ask those questions. Chairman, thank you so much.
All right, fam. First of all, let me make a correction. They said that one of the bodies was found in the bayou on Jensen and the Edo area. That's not Edo, that's 5th Ward. Part of it is Edo, but that area right there where they're talking about, specifically Jensen and where they say Edo, that's 5th Ward. Where the bayou runs is 5th Ward. If you go further down, that's 2nd Ward in that area, but in which they hijacked, and they're not calling Edo. They're calling some parts of 5th Ward Edo too, but that's not important right now. What's important is that people find the loved ones that are missing, and it's equally important for people out there in the streets to be diligent and be very, very careful. I mean, even before this, you got to be very careful, because the uncivilized mutts are running amok in America, and there is little to nothing being done about it, even though every single city shows budgets increasing with law enforcement. They got more cops on the streets. They got more guns on the streets. They got more weapons to combat crime. They got all of these resources, and crime is still a major factor in the United States of America because they will not allocate funds for social services. One of the biggest social services that need to be addressed is mental illness. There are a lot of people in this country that are mentally ill, including some who might be listening to me right now. I had to pause a couple of years back. I actually caught my snap. Could have been a little longer than a couple of years, but I had to catch my snap and realize it's people out here that's on medication, that's on the internet. These people are on the internet and they're on medication. And I'm getting uptight about somebody who's on medication or someone who needs to be on medication. I saw a video yesterday of a youngster cussing his mama out. I guess he's some popular dude. I forgot his name, and ain't that big of a deal anyway, because I don't see him going that much further with whatever he got going on. But he was streaming. He's riding in the car with his mother, and he was telling his mama, F you and all kinds of stuff, like shut the F up, and talking about putting his mama out the house, told her she can find somewhere else to stay. I mean, just really, really, really disrespectful. So these type of things used to never happen. You would never, man, you couldn't get the baddest of the baddest dude to talk to his mama like that when I was growing up. I don't give a damn how bad you were. You wasn't badder than mama. And even if you thought you was, you wouldn't dare cuss your mama out and tell your mama, if you get out, we didn't do that, man. Yeah, we did some messed up stuff. We wasn't perfect. But damn, let me tell y'all youngsters something. If you want a better life, if you don't want to be in the position I'm in right now, and many other people are in right now, when you start pushing 50, 60, you better you actually can do something about it right now, because the youngsters got the most influence over other youngsters. It ain't the adults, it's the youngsters, because the youngsters already think they know everything. So what the adults doing don't really matter to them. And they're not trying to impress adults. They're trying to impress youngsters. They're trying to impress other youngsters. They're trying to act tough. They're trying to wear the nicest clothes and having this, this attitude or whatever. All of this is to impress their peers. So y'all got a lot to say about what the future looks like in 20, 30, 40 years. Y'all got a whole lot to say, but if you sit back idly and you just watch the show, even if you're not participating in the disrespect, it's going to be hell to pay, including when you're raising your own children, because they got to go out there and deal with these fools. They got to go out. They're going to be subjected to living and sharing space with these fools and the fools that they create. Now, it is my belief there is a serial killer out there. You're talking about 4 bodies found in the bayou in 4 days. Granted, the body could have been in there a month ago or whatever, but 4 bodies in 4 days? That's too much. That's way too much. And 12 bodies since April. 12 bodies, 13 for the year, and 12 since April. It appears to me that there's a serial killer on the loose in Houston, and law enforcement don't want to say anything about it because they don't have answers. They don't have any answers, and they don't want the people to be spooked for too long. Yeah, I suspect that if they get close to cracking the case, they may say something. They may start putting some information out there, but they, at the very least, need to warn everybody to be extra careful out there, especially women, especially young women. Y'all gotta be diligent, you know. The uncivilized mutts are everywhere. R.I.P. Jay McKissick. No more talk.
Where do we go from here? How did we get this way? How do we go back to yesterday? Where do we go from here? How did we get this way? How do we go back to yesterday?
We looking forward but walking backwards. We both wanna win, but we both inaccurate. Two sides, but no one wants to be.